This is part 1 of my SCAR video. I will release a part 2 once I've gotten the weapon gold and I've played with it a lot more, but currently at weapon level 41, I'm not digging the SCAR. I've gotten the M13, Kilo 141, and M4A1 assault rifles golden, and I have to say, they're all miles easier to use than the SCAR, and the SCAR, though being harder to use, doesn't feel very rewarding. Back with the AK-47, what I said was that the weapon was frustrating, not as competitive, but rewarding when you give it the amount of time it deserves. Now, I felt like at around level 25, I was able to use the AK-47 competitively, and learning the weapon felt rewarding because of what the weapon can end up doing. I do not feel that way about the SCAR. 40 levels in with the SCAR, and I haven't seen its usefulness. It just feels like not as slow as the Odin and doesn't kick as much as the AK. Now don't get me wrong, this weapon can kill very quickly in the right hands. I've had my fair share of melty deaths because of it, and okay, yeah, fair, it can do that. But a lot of guns in this game can do that, and not many of them force you into having a 25 round magazine. Oh wait, sorry, 20 round magazine. Your next attachment for magazines is 25, and the next one at level 62 is 30 rounds? It takes you to get to level 62 with this weapon to get 30 round magazines. Keeping in mind guns like the Kilo, M13, and M4 can have 60 round mags without any noticeable downside. If you guys watch Exclusive Ace's video, they don't affect your aim down sight time in any way that's measurable in 60 frames per second. I don't believe they slow down your reload. They might by a couple seconds, but I've never noticed. And even if they did, having 60 rounds in one magazine is worth a slower reload time. So using an AR that the highest amount of ammo you can get at level 62 is 30 rounds is embarrassing. The fact that you can't get a 100 round beta mag and turn this into more of an LMG, it doesn't start with 30 rounds and then go up to like 35, 40, or then 100 rounds to make it more like it is a 20 round to 30 round gun, and that really hurts it because the M4, the Kilo, and the M13 are very accurate weapons that can dump 50 rounds at you very accurately. So it doesn't compete against those weapons, it doesn't hit as hard as the Odin. I mean, hell, the AK pretty fast off the bat gives you a 40 round magazine, the skeleton stock, stippled grip, and a compensator, and you can use the thing aggressively. And the SCAR, though it gives you stippled grip relatively soon, and you can take off the stock, you're removing recoil control on a weapon with a fair amount of fucking recoil that doesn't have large magazines, so that you can make it slightly better in close quarters. You're still gonna lose almost every gunfight against an M13, Kilo, M4, MP5, P90, PKM, MG34, any of the shotguns. You're not going to be able to bring this gun up and shoot somebody fast enough, and even if you can, you only have 20 rounds, so as soon as somebody figures out where you are after you've killed their buddy, you're probably down to 10 rounds, because in close range firefights, you're not going to shoot exactly the right amount of bullets to use, so you're going to be at half mag or just a little above half mag the moment you get a kill. And though this weapon does do very good in hardcore, I believe it is a one-shot kill everywhere in hardcore, maybe a two-shot at long range or whatever, but it would be good in hardcore because you don't need massive magazines in hardcore. The problem in hardcore is that it doesn't have a fast rate of fire. So I believe the AK beats it there, and if I wanted to use a clunky gun for one-shot kills, I guess I could just use the Odin. Now here's the kicker and the reason I'm making this video. This weapon feels like it's better at a distance, yet its recoil control, even with a compensator, long barrel, and Merc foregrip, the recoil control, the vertical recoil, is still insane. But either way, I think it's better at those ranges, but the small magazine and rate of fire means hitting moving targets at a distance is a stupid idea. In my opinion, the SCAR is best at mid to long range when your opponent is holding completely still. It doesn't have the fire rate and ammo to track people, and also ranged engagements with automatic weapons that aren't really made for long range engagements like the Kilo or the M4 or the M13. Those guns require extended mags for those types of engagements, because if you're going to spend 10, 15 rounds at a distance tap firing somebody, it's good if you needed to tap fire 20 rounds at somebody, worst case scenario, that you still have 30 left over and you don't need to get caught reloading. People at a distance are going to take more shots to kill, that's just how it works. So that although this weapon feels like it's made for long range, it doesn't have the ammo count to fight at long range. It doesn't have the rate of fire to hit them if they start moving, because if they start moving, your margin of error shrinks dramatically. You can't just sweep them anymore. You can't rely on an 800 round per minute weapon. You are relying on real accuracy, and you might think, well then good, the gun takes skill. well, that's great. You can pat yourself on the back and your righteous indignation can glow like the heavens, but the problem is that just because it rewards skill doesn't mean it's competitive. What I love about the AK-47, back to that topic, is that the AK-47, yeah, it takes more skill, but once you hone in that gun and get attachments for it, it rewards you. It's not as good as the M4, it's not as versatile as the Kilo, it's not as good in close range as the M13, but it feels rewarding once you get good at it. The Scar always has a handicap. In terms of rate of fire, in terms of magazine size, in terms of recoil, it has those handicaps no matter what. When I've put on the longest barrel it can have, Merc foregrip, and a compensator or a muzzle brake, I've experimented with all of them, and the Commando foregrip, and the shorter barrel, and the no stock, and with the stock, doesn't matter. Try to get as little recoil as possible, it's still gonna kick, not have a fast rate of fire, and that magazine is still going to be smaller than the other ARs you're going to be competing against. Even the MP5 can get up to 45 rounds, meaning if you start missing, all an MP5 player has to do is outlast you. So yes, it might reward skill, but does that mean it's competitive against the other weapons in the game, or even in this weapon's class? I think the FAL, after its buff, is better. I think the FAMAS is better. I think if you want something that just hits like a truck, then use the Odin. At least that was my experience in the beta. I still need to use the Odin. I might make a live commentary of me trying out the Odin for the first time in the full game, because I've maybe picked one up once since the game came out. Either way, I don't know what the role of the Scar is, and that's why I'm making this video, is because at level 41, I feel like it's good at long range, but doesn't have the things that makes a gun good at long range, which is magazine size, accuracy, and rate of fire. Its damage is good, but its damage isn't so good that makes up for the small magazines. The only thing I can think to say nice about this weapon over something like the M4 or Kilo is because of its larger rounds, it does punch through walls a little bit better. I've gotten more wallbang kills with this than other weapons, but that's not a selling point for me. That's not, I don't know, that's too situational for me to be like, oh yeah, the Scar is better, obviously. Please tell me if you are enjoying the Scar, your exact loadout and setup. Help me out with that so I can get this gun gold easier. Let me know if you just play hardcore or realism mode with it. I wonder if the gun would be good in realism because of the upwards recoil. But the rate of fire would make it so that, again, your margin for error is very small, and any weapon's going to one-shot headshot in realism, so there's no real point in using the Scar over something else still. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you hate it? Do you love it? How are you getting kills with it? Please let me know down below. These are my problems. Let me know if you agree with them. See you when I see you. Goodbye.